galaxy of intellectual, guests, teachers, and my dear friend. How different is this morning? You will yourself discover the colors of occasion of this special day of engineers. So, on behalf of CSE department, I, Siddharth Jain,
and I, Sandesh Ratnawat, welcome you all to the auspicious occasion of
in the graveyard, and one stone which mentions a wonderful message to rest of the people, and that was मैं सबसे अहम था, अहम, important. When everything was over, he was being asked that how you could be able to do that, to sell the books. It was a company which used to sell the books, no? So how could you be able to sell the books when you even do not able to speak properly? And again, as I mentioned earlier, that the stories are indicative and symbolic. So minded it must be assumed as if it's the case of some developed country where everybody is so full of etiquette and courteous not to send the people outside. No? So he used to be a salesperson, and with this weakness of stammering, he used to knock the door, then somebody used to open the door, then they say, this is my book which I want to sell, and this and that. Even he used to take 5 minutes to speak, which can be covered in half a minute, all right. So they said, no, we don't want this. Well, okay, you don't want this, I'll go and I'll again come and then sell you. So rather than he comes back, people used to buy their books. So this is how he would be able to achieve. The indication and symbol is that despite having this weakness, he could be able to achieve that. And the posters probably you must have seen there at the reception, where the packages of 31 lakhs or so are mentioned, which is now revised as.
So much for being such a generous organizer to provide me this opportunity to speak on this occasion. Today is Engineers Day, as you already know. In honor of that, I am going to present a story of an entrepreneur, Kalpana Saroj. Before that, I want to introduce myself. I am Pragya Rajput from BA Honors Economics first year. कल्पना सरोज की जो स्टोरी है, अगर आप सब ध्यान से सुनेंगे तो बहुत ही इंस्पायरिंग स्टोरी है. शी वॉज बॉर्न इन 1961 इन रूपलखेड़ा एट महाराष्ट्र. इनकी स्टोरी बहुत ही मतलब एक फीमेल जब बहुत सी प्रॉब्लम्स को फेस करके आगे बढ़ती है तो वो अपने आप में एक इंस्पिरेशन बन जाती है. 12 साल की थी जब ही इनकी शादी कर दी थी. जब बाल विवाह बहुत होते थे समाज में, 12 साल की इनकी शादी करती थी और पूरे घर की जिम्मेदारी जो भी काम था सब इनके ऊपर थोप दिया गया था. 12 साल की बच्ची जो भी सब काम करती है उसमें अगर थोड़ी सी भी कोई मिस्टेक हो जाती थी तो उनके साथ मारपीट की जाती थी, उन्हें अब्यूज़ सुननी पड़ती थी और बहुत ही उन्हें टॉर्चर किया जाता था. ऐसा सब टॉर्चर सहन करते करते उन्हें 6 मंथ्स हुए. फिर उनके फादर उनसे मिलने के लिए आए तो उनके फादर ने उन्हें पहचाना ही नहीं कि ये मेरी बेटी है. उनकी हालत ऐसी फटी पुरानी साड़ी पहनी हुई थी और मार मतलब खा खा के उनकी हालत बहुत ही बेकार कर दी गई थी. तो उनके फादर उन्हें वहाँ से ले गए कि अब तुम यहाँ नहीं रुकोगी. उसके पीछे भी नहीं बहुत विवाद हुए कि नहीं तुम ऐसे नहीं ले जा सकते, लेकिन फिर भी वो उन्हें ले आए और वो बहुत ही मतलब पढ़ना चाहती थी और अपने जीवन में कुछ बड़ा करना चाहती थी, लेकिन पैट्रियार्कल सोसाइटी उन्हें ऐसा कुछ नहीं हो पाया. फिर उनके फादर ने उन्हें समझाया कि तुम्हारे जीवन में अब जो कुछ भी हुआ है उससे तुम भूल जाओ, तुम एक अपनी ज़िंदगी की नई शुरुआत करो और कुछ ऐसा करके दिखाओ कि और भी जो है तुमसे इंस्पिरेशन ले सके. फिर उन्होंने वापस अपनी पढ़ाई कंटिन्यू की. उनके फादर पुलिस इंस्पेक्टर थे तो उन्होंने पहले पुलिस में अप्लाई किया, लेकिन उनकी एजुकेशन इतनी अच्छी नहीं थी इसलिए उन्हें पुलिस में उनका सिलेक्शन नहीं हो पाया. फिर उन्होंने और भी प्राइवेट कंपनीज में अप्लाई किया, लेकिन एजुकेशन नहीं होने के कारण उन्हें कहीं भी जॉब नहीं मिली. फिर उन्होंने एक बुटीक में जाके अपना काम स्टार्ट किया. उन्हें सिर्फ 2 रुपये रोज़ के मिलते थे, 60 रुपीज़ पर मंथ. लेकिन इतनी महंगाई में और 60 रुपीज़ में कुछ होता नहीं था, लेकिन उन्होंने सोचा जो मेरी पहली ज़िंदगी थी जहाँ मुझे एब्यूज़ सुननी पड़ती थी और मेरे साथ मारपीट की जाती थी, उससे तो ये ज़िंदगी बेहतर है जहाँ एटलीस्ट मैं अपना कुछ करके अपने पैरों पर तो खड़ी हूँ. उनकी गाड़ी थोड़ी ट्रैक पे आने लगी और फिर ऐसा हुआ कि उनके फादर की जॉब छूट गई, तो जो भी पूरी जिम्मेदारी थी वो उनके ऊपर आ गई। फिर उन्होंने अपनी एक रियल सिस्टर को अपने सामने भूख से, बीमारी से तड़प तड़प के मरते हुए देखा, तो उन्हें बहुत ही सदमा लगा। लेकिन फिर उन्होंने वापस साहस जुटाया और सोचा कि अब मेरे किसी अपने को मैं ऐसे तड़प के मरता हुआ नहीं देख सकती। फिर उन्होंने एक लोन लिया और सिर्फ उन्हें बुटीक का काम आता था और उनकी एजुकेशन भी थी, इसलिए उन्होंने अपना बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया और लेबर्स रखे और धीरे धीरे बहुत ही मेहनत करने के बाद उन्होंने कुछ पैसे कंट्रीब्यूट किए और फिर एक जो कंपनी बंद हो चुकी थी उसे खरीदा और धीरे धीरे करके उस कंपनी को एक बड़ा नाम दिया। आज वो कंपनी कमानी टेक्सटाइल्स के नाम से हम सभी लोग जानते हैं। जहां उन्होंने 2 रुपये रोज से शुरुआत की थी, आज वो 2 करोड़ की कंपनी की मालकिन हैं और उन्हें पद्मश्री अवार्ड से सम्मानित भी किया गया है। तो ये कल्पना सरोज की स्टोरी थी। आई होप आप सब।
Changes are nature, but challenges are aim. So change the challenge. So challenge the change, but don't change the challenges. This is not said by any kind of philosopher or writer. It is said by a 6 feet 3 inch long thin man who came from Allahabad to Bombay with a lot of dreams in his eyes, and he was none other than the Padma Vibhushan, Padma Shri, and this is all, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. The failure of Amitabh Bachchan was because of 2 reasons. Firstly, he was very tall, everyone knows this. And second was his voice. He was rejected by All India Radio because of gaudy voice. And he was rejected by a lot of makers because of very long height. But in 1969, he got his first break in South Hindustan. After this, he got 12 flops, and after that came a very big turning point in his life when he got Diwar, and he showed everyone कि जहाँ हम खड़े होते हैं लाइन वहीं से शुरू होती है. And then came his magnum opus. We all know this, that Gabbar Road and Jai Viru's friendship ruled the whole world. Yes, it was Sholay, who was around 7 years in the theatre and rocked the whole world, and who was declared the movie of the millennium by BBC Earth in 1999. Okay, then came the era. He gave a lot of hits from 1972 to 1982, maybe Parvarish, Satya Pe Satta, Kabhi Kabhi, Silsila. My favorite, of course, Kalia as well. Then came the era when in 1982 he was fatally injured on the set of Coolie by Puneet sir, we all know him. And he was very fatally injured, and then 1983 the Coolie again released, and it was a very mega blockbuster hit because of all of his controversies. Then he took a small break and came back the Shahenshah of Bollywood in 1988. He gave Shahenshah, Khuda Gawah and Agnipad a consecutive hits. Then he went on a retirement for around 2 to 3 years and came with ABCL, Amitabh Bachchan Corporation Limited, with whole 1996 World Cup pageant. But it was in losses of billions and he was bankrupt. He was just on the verge of begging. Then he went to one of his very close friend, Yash Chopra, and he offered him, we all know the movie. What was it? Come on guys, you all know this. And he became the Shankar Narayan, and after that his life ruled on 3 principles: Pratishtha, Parampara and Anushasana. We all know. And since then he's been ruling with the Bollywood, and he's known as the star of Millennium, the Big B, the mega star. So what I learned from his story was 2 things. Firstly, make your weaknesses your strength. He was rejected because of his height, his voice, but now He succeeds because of his height and voice only. So make your weaknesses your strength. And secondly, don't dwell on your past. It's very easy for the people to say, come on, let's move on. But we all know this, that move on is a very short word or 2 word, but it's very difficult to do. So when you feel that you are lagging somewhere or you are not doing good, just start from the basics. Go from scratch as he did during Mohabbatein. I think the life is not bed of roses. It's always been an Agnipath. So always remember the poem that I learned in my 9th standard, Agnipath, written by his father, Harivansh Rai Bachchan. He said, वृक्ष हो भले खड़े, हो घने, हो बड़े, एक पत्र छां भी मांग मत, मांग मत, मांग मत. अग्निपथ, अग्निपथ, अग्निपथ. तू ना थकेगा कभी, तू ना थमेगा कभी, तू ना रुकेगा कभी. कर शपथ, कर शपथ, कर शपथ. अग्निपथ. Thank you everyone.
To everyone, this is Harshvardhan from CSE IoT with an amazing story of a computer scientist, inventor and an hacker. Do you know humans have only 5 senses? Have you ever heard about the 6th? Isn't it interesting to hear the 6th sense? हम humans के पास सिर्फ 5 इंद्रियां होती है. क्या हमने कभी 6ठी इंद्रिय के बारे में सुना है? हाँ, the 6th sense technology. Basically, the 6th sense technology was introduced by Steve Mills in 19, but it was developed by Indian computer scientist Pranav Mistry. Pranav Mistry was born in May 1981. He was born in Gujarat and he completed his graduation from Gujarat University. Then he pursued his masters from IIT Bombay. Can you imagine you are out at a fabulous place and you want to take picture of that place and you can take the picture just with the help of your fingers, just like doing this. Yes, it is possible. Can you imagine you don't have time to read newspapers, but you can read newspapers while getting ready for the college in your mirror? Yes, it is possible. Can you imagine you have to use your palm as a mobile phone that will act as a touch screen? Yes, it is possible. Pranav Mistry is the first man in the world who has made an artificial human that can work like a real human. Yes, it is possible. The 6th sense technology. He is also an engineer. We are also an engineer. And we know all the engineers are so creative. So what is the difference between him and us? When we are creative, we always hesitate to put our step forward. We always hesitate in thinking we don't have investment, we don't have resources, we have nothing. And we always end up saying, "To रहने दो फिर." But Pranav took a step. When he was in MIT, he was sitting in front of his computer observing his mouse. He thought how this mouse works, how the cursor moves with this mouse. Then he get to know about the ball that present in mouse. He opened the mouse, took out the ball of that particular mouse, understood how it works. Then he made the first invisible mouse in the world. After that, he made a lot of technologies like you can wear a locket in your neck and wherever you are going, you can take a picture just by this and your picture will be captured with the gestures of your finger just by wearing some rings in your hands. You can project something in the air and you can just control it with your fingers. Isn't it magical? So, Pranav Mistry, the most interesting thing is a lot of superpower countries offered Pranav a lot of huge amount to work for their country. But Pranav said, "Nahi, I will work for India, I will serve for India." This is the great thing about Pranav Mistry. Even a lot of foreign companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon offered Pranav to work for them, but he denied. Finally, he joined Samsung India as president and CEO of Starlab. He developed the first smart band of Samsung. Later on, he opened a lot of centers all over the India where he used to train a lot of youths of India like us about the 6th sense technology. His only motto is to connect the physical world with technology and grow India and compete with countries like Japan and China. So Pranav took Pranav is also known as AI Man of India, the Artificial Intelligence Man of India. So Pranav not only teaches us to be a good engineer, to be a good inventor, to be a good entrepreneur, but he also teaches us about our love for our country, and he always want to serve for our India. At the end, I would like to add, खोल दो पंख मेरे, खोल दो पंख मेरे, उड़ान अभी बाकी है, जमीन नहीं है मंजिल मेरी, पूरा आसमान बाकी है. Thank you so much for listening.
Let's watch a video first before I start. Journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Living by this quote, Farhad Asadwala is one of the top 25 young entrepreneurs in India. Many of us may have begun to wonder what I was doing at the age of 13. At the age of 13, Farhad, just like all of us present here, also experienced academic pressure and pressure to live up to his parents' expectations. However, there was one subject in his school which piqued his interest, a hobby aeromodeling class. There, they built airplanes and flew them at really high speeds with actual fuels in it. You must be wondering how this relates to his entrepreneurial journey at this point. So, one Friday, he went home and started surfing the internet. There, he noticed an article where he saw which read how to build websites. He searched through lots of websites and then he noticed that there wasn't any central place where he could find information about the aviation. So he decided that he was going to do it. At that time, he didn't have any knowledge about web development. So, for the next few weeks, he started learning it. When he finally understood it, another major problem arose. Content. Well, why do we visit a website? Is it because it's very beautiful or creative? No, 90% of the time we visit a website is because we require its content. So, for the next 1 year, he started emailing many other website owners of aviation, and he requested them like, hey, can I use your website's information? I'm trying to do something here, and it would be really grateful if you could help me. When all this didn't work, he had to sell his website at a 25% profit, but this became a stepping stone in his life, in his journey to discover himself. This was his life's first real project. Everyone is excited when they make their first project, you know. I was also excited when I made my first project. So later, from this experience, he learned that entrepreneurship isn't about just going out there and doing something better than someone else does. It's about finding a gap and solving a problem. Second, content is everything. You may have a great design and a great looking website. Also, you have great marketing skills and also talent in place. But people visit a website or buy a product only when you provide them something they need. Third, taking initiative is important. You need to start at some point if you want to achieve something. Later, he built his own company named Rockstar Media, a business based on web development, marketing, branding, and aviation. He has been a featured speaker on the TEDx stage 3 times. Also, he was invited by the Indian government to speak in front of 1000 youths in Jammu and Kashmir. Well, sounds great. Like, all this was possible because he took initiative and he managed his own feelings, and he just took his initiative and just got there. Some words, some advices said by this young achiever is, if you are failing and not learning from it, you are wasting your time. You will learn far more better from your smallest failures than from your greatest success. He says, I have failed 2000 times and I have no doubt there. But I'm still not where I want to be. The day I will be where I want to be is the day when I have failed like 10,000 times. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Today I am Hitesh Singh Pawar from CSIT Department 2nd year. Today I will be narrating story of Mr. Dharmpal Gulati. So I have a question for you. How many of you know who is Mr. Dharmpal Gulati? Anyone? Please raise the hand. Anyone knows? Yes, one person. So in this massive crowd, only one person knows who is Mr. Dharmpal Gulati. But I can bet that each one of you had seen him before. Many a times, even. Every day even. Have you seen that advertisement of MDH Masale? Yes. There you see an old man wearing an Indian turban, red color Indian turban. Have you seen that? He is the owner of MDH company. He was the owner of MDH company, and he is Mr. Dharmpal Gulati. So, like other entrepreneurs or other business personalities, he did not have any investment. He was not even an Indian originally. He came to India as a refugee. Yes, as a refugee. He belonged to Sialkot, Pakistan, the Punjab region. In Pakistan, it has a district named as Sialkot. He was born there. And as he was brought up by his family, he had a very good background. His family was into a business of spices. And actually, you might not know that when you see that advertisement, they explain it as Mirchi Dhania Haldi, MDH. But it's not actually that. The full form is Mahashyadi Hatti. So it was the name of his shop, which was owned by his family in Sialkot. He belonged to a business class family, and they had a spice shop in Sialkot. He completed his education. I must not say completed. He just did his education till 5th class. After 5th class, he left the school because he was not so good in studies. But he was very sharp-minded. He had a good knowledge about business. He had a good knowledge about expanding his business. He tried many different businesses, but failed in each and every one. But he did not give up. He came in his own business. He established there, and now everything was going fine. But as we say, time is not always same. The biggest incident of Indian history took place in year 1947, the partition of our country. Due to this partition, he, along with his big joint family, has to shift from Pakistan to India in Amritsar refugee camp. Now he lost everything, even his business, his house, the name and fame that they had. But he didn't give up even. All the investment that he had, he brought a horse cart, tanga jise kehte hain, horse cart. He started riding that horse cart, he collected money through that. And with that money, he was not actually satisfied with that business because he knew he had a big family, he has to feed everyone, and the money was not sufficient. So he just rented a shop in Chandni Chowk. You might not know that Chandni Chowk has the biggest spice market of Asia, and it was established by Mr. Dharmpal Gulati. He rented a shop in Chandni Chowk and named his family business just like Mahashyadi Hatti, and he started ruling over it. The first thing that we should learn from him is his devotion towards his business. The second thing that he did was that he never compromised with the quality. Due to this, he expanded his business. He became most famous spice seller in whole Chandni Chowk area, and from Delhi to Amritsar, Mahashyadi Hatti was the most popular brand of spices. Other than that, when the time passed, he faced the biggest competition from two companies, that was Everest and Tata. These both companies decided to jump into spice market. The first competition was from Everest, because Everest and MDH, these two were the companies which were known for the quality of their spices. So now it was a great task for Mr. Dharampal Gulati to be the best. So he introduced a new thing. He brought an innovation in the spice world. Whenever you have to cook a dish, you just take 10 to 12 spices, 8 to 10 different spices. That's quite a complicated process. Take 8 spices, but he introduced a thing. You might have heard the chole masala, shahi paneer masala. He just combined those spices in a fixed quantity and provided you one packet of spice with which you can cook that whole dish. He brought this innovation in the spice industry. So third thing that we could learn him was his innovation. He grew, his company grew, and from zero, yes, he started from zero. He was not having any investment. He started his business of selling spices from his home. So from zero, that company today has a turnover of 1,000+ crores per year. This is the achievement of Mr. Dharampal Gulati, because this whole effort was done by him. Now Mr. Dharampal Gulati, as he grew, his company grew. He not only just established for India, he also tried to export his spices and became the biggest spice exporter of Asia. So the company in the present day exports its spices to more than 100+ countries around the globe. In one of the interviews, he was asked that like other companies, Tata and Mahindra, why don't you invest in different businesses like automobile sector, telecom industry? So he gave a very nice reply. He said, मैं श्रेष्ठ नहीं, सर्वश्रेष्ठ बनना चाहता हूँ. Not the good, but the best. He was having a clear target. एक काम करूँगा, पर ऐसा करूँगा कि अगले 100 साल तक मेरी कोई बराबरी ना कर सके. And this was his motive of life even. Other than this, his dedication was towards the customer satisfaction. He never had a dream of earning money. He was having only one dream, that his company should gain customer satisfaction. And as our very favorite character, engineering character has said, कामयाबी के पीछे नहीं, काबिलियत के पीछे भागो. कामयाबी झक मार के तुम्हारे पीछे आएगी. So he was, yes, its favorite character, of course. Many of you are inspired by him even. So he worked till last moment. He died at the age of 97. And you might be shocked to know that just before his death, just 4 days before his death, he was shooting an advertisement for MDH company. He was having a multi-billionaire company. He was very well established. He could appoint any good actor for working in the advertisements, but he never thought of so. Means his target was that he will himself work in those advertisements, because he was the owner of company and the people could directly connect to him. So this was the story of Mr. Dharampal Gulati, who is the Spice King of India and Asia as well. Thank you.